Hello! Welcome back and Happy New Year to you. 2025 is right around the corner, and I thought I would continue on my Pilatus PC-12 adventures with Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 by adding in Pilotedge. And we're going to take ourselves a little trip down the coast. Now, you can see around me that the weather is apparently blue skies, but that's BS. Here in Washington, it is socked in with rain and fog, and it's been nasty for like 3 weeks. So I want to get down the coast. I want to go to California. We're going to take this turboprop over the 101 down the coast of Crescent City. We're going to file and fly an IFR flight plan, but we're going to keep it low. You might already know the Pilatus PC-12 has pressurization issues in 2024, and if you go above the magic altitude of flight level 200, you will get hypoxia and you will die. Disclaimer, that's only in 2024. I'm sure the real Pilatus PC-12 is fantastic in pressurization. I'm sure it doesn't kill you above flight level 200. But we can't take that chance until they fix the pressurization. So we're going to fly at a comfortable 12,000 feet, and we're going to fly a IFR route, and we're going to have Pilotedge with us the entire way. So why don't we get started with all that? The first thing to do is to get inside the plane, and I need to make sure that I do the right things and remove the right stuff. So we're going to pull these out there so that we can actually start the plane. We're going to go take the chocks out. Those are gone. We're going to go pull the pitot cover off. That's all good. And we're just going to take a quick walk around. Make sure the plane, look really good there. Coming out the back of his neck there. That looks really good. Pretty sweet paint job this time. I like this. Alright, good stuff. Alright, let me in. Hey, no messing around. Come on. There we go. Alright. Hey, Havlin. Good to see you, man. Happy New Year. Give me a check on levels. Everything sounding pretty good? Alright, we're going to poke around the cockpit a little bit, make sure this thing responds to my commands. Throttle, yeah. Flaps, good. Make sure we can wiggle the stickle. Alright, rudders are all good. Yeah, feeling pretty awesome. It's a slick piece of hardware, this Pilatus PC-12, so I want to be sure that it actually is doing everything I want it to do. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and pull up the EFB, the electronic flight bag, and work the flight a little bit from here. So let's make sure that you can see it. Yes, you can. We're all set there. We're loaded. We've got a little bit of cargo, 50 pounds. We got 82% fuel. That's plenty. I feel good about that. Let's go ahead and get the aircraft started, and then we'll do all of our nav prep, and we'll file with Pilotedge and all those other things. So chocks removed, yeah, we did that. External power, whatever, blah, 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 blah. It's fine. Right aileron, shake. Oh, you stop it. Engine covers, I got those off. That's good. That's probably what screwed me up last time. Nose gear, engine check visually. Left aileron, shake, left flap. Yeah, all those are just grand. All right, avionics master switch must be set to on. No kidding. Huh, go figure. Oh, I can press this button and I think it'll... Look at that. Oh, that's pretty neat. All right. 1, 2. Okay, that's cool. And we'll do the parking brake. Yep, that's on. That's cool. Standby power. Yeah, this is nice. I like that they do this. And the EPS test, so we'll go ahead and drag that down. 1, 2, 3. Yep, it's testing. We're good. And EPS on. Beep, beep. And all the battery switches must be set to on. So battery 1 and battery 2. Check landing gear down in 3 greens. Yep, down in 3 greens right there. And fuel quantity check. Yep, 82%. That looks good right there. Cool. All right, navigation lights must be set to on. I've got a hardware switch for that. That's cool. And beacon must be set to on. It is. CAS check. Battery 1, 2, generator 1 off, engine NP. Yeah, that's fine. Engine master on. Oh. There we go, like that. And push the starter. Okay. Starter's pushed. Okay, I see NG coming up. I see PSI coming up. Oil pressure, make sure that it's in the green. It is. I say, ooh, hot air's flying out there. That's pretty cool. Prop is turning. Okay, we have ignition. Yeah, we're rolling now. Awesome. And the generator switch must be set to on. On. And on. Engine master starter, oil pressure is good, and generator is on. Sweet. Alright, we'll close that down real quick, and then I need to reset my... Whoa. Excuse me. Reset position. There we go, that feels better. Alright. Feeling pretty good on all this. Now I think there's a checklist that we can run down here. Look at this. Yeah. Boop. Checklist, general menu, normal. Before takeoff. Yeah, look at that. That's pretty cool. Light controls free and correct. Inertial separator on. Landing light strobe on. Ready for after takeoff. Alright, so let me go ahead and hide the yoke for a second here and make sure that we're doing everything we need to do. Ice positions. So we're going to go pitot heat on. And turn those anti-icers off. I don't know what's going on with that. We're going to go ahead and open the inertial separator. Okay, good. And let's see, I got to run my plugin, the Octavi MS 2024 plugin, so that my hardware can change my comm frequencies. There it goes. Yeah, I can spin my comm frequencies. That's pretty slick. I like that. All right, let's go ahead and get ourselves connected to Pilotedge now. So I'm going to connect up to the client, and PC-12 is my type code.
Pilotedge connected.
All right, Pilotedge is up and running. Now we're not going to get a Pilotedge briefing here at Tacoma because it's not towered, but I'll tune 124050 on COM2, and I'll make sure that we're tune COM2 receiver is on.
Tacoma Airport.
Hey, there we go.
1900 Zulu. Wind 055 at tree. Visibility 10. Sky condition 600 feet scattered. Temperature 6. Dew point tree. Altimeter tree 025. 01. ILS runway 17 in use. Landing and departing runway 17. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions.
Cool. And we'll go ahead and tune 122.2 and start listening to approach. And we'll pre-tune 118.5 on COM1 because that's going to be our traffic frequency. And we'll close that up. So we know we got 3025. Let me set the barometer. 3025 inches is set on that barrow. We've got a standby barrow here. 3025, and we should see about 300 feet because that's the elevation of Tacoma Narrows, and that looks good, so I'm feeling pretty happy about that. All right, the next thing that I want to do is let's figure out what the route is going to be down to Carson City. I've got a basic route that makes sense to me. Let's see if we can throw that in the flight planner real quick. So departure airport is KTIW. We know that. We're going to I'm going to go ahead and expect the Narrows 1 departure, transition direct, and our destination is going to be KCEC, which is Jack McNamara Field at Crescent City. It says ILS 12 direct. I'll just check really quick what the weather at KSEC is, and are we looking at runway 12? Yeah, 1000 at 4 knots, runway 12, so that's actually pretty good. We'll do ILS 12 via direct. Why don't we click find route and see what it thinks? I don't know what any of these are. Really? Forget that. I don't like any of those. I want to follow some routes. So we'll do Olympia, add waypoint, Astoria, add waypoint, CEC Crescent City, add. There you go, you see? Now, I need to put in the routes between those, but I don't actually think that we can do that. So I'll hit send route to avionics. Okay, and there we have the route actually in there. Let's see if we can zoom out a little bit so we can see that we've got that route set. All right. I'm just messing around at this point. Show me my flight plan. No. Now, do you think... Aha! Look at that. Look at this. Amend route. After OLM, join yes. Sweet. I need the Victor 187 airway, and the exit will be Astoria. We'll insert that. Oh, yeah, very, very cool. I love that. And then after Astoria, I want to join the Victor 27 airway, and we'll exit at CEC, Moo, Frams, Shui, Hadley, Cabex. Does it feel like we're missing it? There's FOT. There's SE. There's CEC right there. Cool. Look at all these waypoints. That's pretty cool. And then after CEC, it says discontinuity. That's because we don't have a transition to the ILS 1.2. So, and I know you're not seeing this, but I've got my own flight pad that I'm looking all this stuff up on, and I do see from YPOG. YPOG is actually a transition. So let's see if YPOG is on our... Yep, it sure is. They're 167 YPOG. So if I do the landing on this and I do... blah, 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 after CEC, I kind of want to figure out... Oh, this is killing me. I'm going to have to figure this out as I go. I got to figure out fly vectors. HVMA. What about this? No, that's not it. Oh, well. What can you do? Let's get on with Pilotedge real quick, and we'll file a flight plan. So I'll go ahead and let me pop over to Chrome so you can see this real quick. Beep, boop. There we go. All right, so we want an IFR flight plan, and one of the things that works in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 is when you use the Pilotedge plugin, you give them the call sign that you want. It doesn't matter what your plane call sign is in Microsoft Flight Simulator. When you're talking to Pilotedge, whatever you put in their system is what they're gonna abide by. So I use my call sign over 6378 Mike. For a PC-12, let's see here if I've got my we'll go back to the game for a second. I'll pop my EFB up. What flight planning is telling us, if we go here... Sorry, I'm trying to figure this out. Is it going to be able to tell me Oh, Lord. There we go. He's going to be able to tell me what my TAS is? No, it's not going to be able to tell me what my TAS is, so I'm going to have to figure it out myself. Give me just a second here. More aircraft plus aircraft type Pilatus PC-12 Eagle airplane whatever maps, sorry, Pilatus PC-12 cruise TAS. It looks like 290 knots, so we'll plug that in real quick. Let's go back. We'll plug in 290 knots, KTIW to KSEC, and cruising altitude, as I mentioned before, I want it to be at a reasonable 12,000 feet to avoid the issue with pressurization that this plane currently has. And as I mentioned, we have a route of flight that I want to follow. That's the Olympia VOR to the Victor 187 airway, then to the Astoria VOR, then join the Victor 27 airway all the way to the Crescent City VOR, and then we'll pick up the ILS 17 into Crescent City, or ILS 12, I think, into Crescent City from there. So make sure it's IFR. We're set. PC-12, that's the right one. True airspeed, correct departure and arrival location, correct cruising altitude and route of flight. All right. Flight plan filed. So we're filed. We should get back in. We should talk to Pilotedge and ask to pick up our clearance. And they may amend our clearance a little bit and tell us that we're going to have to fly slightly differently than what we asked for, but that will all become clear when we talk to them. So I'm just writing this down here for myself. All right. And we'll go ahead and click on with them. Seattle departure, good day. Pilatus, November 6378, Mike on the ground, Tacoma. I'd like to pick up our IFR to Crescent City. This is the part where you check that you actually are getting audio and everything's right. Sometimes this doesn't go right. I'll check my audio settings. No, that's correct. Button 1 on Alpha Flight Controls is correct. Are we connected to the Pilotedge network? I suspect that we are, but I need to check. I'm logged in. Everything there's good. If we don't hear anything back, then I need to do a radio check.
November 6378, Mike, Seattle departure, standby.
Sweet. I'm not doing a radio check because everything is bueno. I will have to figure out how to set the correct procedures on this amazing MFD map thingy here, but I'll get there. Ooh, this is undefined approach. Look at that, undefined approach. I wonder if I can define the approach. Cool. That was smart. You just blow away your
Number
entire...
6378, Mike, cleared from the Tacoma Airport to the Crescent City Airport. Narrows 1 departure that has filed. Climb and maintain 2000. Expect 2000 in 10 minutes. Departure frequency 120.4. Squawk 4226. Hold for release.
Cleared to the Crescent City Airport. Narrows 1 departure, then as filed. Climb, maintain 2000. Expect 2000. 10 minutes after departure. Departure is on 120.4. Squawk 4226. Hold for release. Pilatus 6378, Mike.
November 6378, Mike, read back correct, advise ready.
We'll advise when we're number 1 and ready to go. 6378, Mike. Sweet. All right. Well, I don't like that I blew away my flight plan routing. That was stupid. So I'm going to use my EFB to send data back to this guy, and we'll just see how this goes. So, boom, route. Oh, look, it's all still here. That's nice. And we know that we wanted the ILS-12 at YPOG, so we'll change procedure there. I'll go ahead and send that route to avionics. Okay, good. The route is already set again, and then all we have to do here is amend the route to join the Victor 187. It terminates at AST, and we know we're good here because this is the route we asked for, and we got it from ATC, so this route is golden. Now, after AST, we join the Victor 27 as we have filed, and then I have this massive whoa. Oh, gross! What am I doing? There's CEC right there. It's weird that YPOG is below it. I don't get that. And I'm not ending it at YPOG because I filed all the way to CEC. We'll need to ask for the Victor, ask for the ILS starting at YPOG partway through. If we don't get it, we are cleared all the way to the CEC VOR and direct to KCEC. So we need to keep that in our flight plan until we define until we get the approach that we want. So. If that makes sense. Anyway, I hate that there's a big old cancel button that I can accidentally hit there. I really don't want to do that. I mean, does activate do something? Oh, it does. Oh, that's cool. And there's the Narrows 1. That's neat. Okay. Okay. Cool. And I want to set the heading bug for 172. That's going to be the magnetic heading of the runway. And we want to set our bug for 2,000 feet as we are asked to, we're asked to go up to 2,000 feet. So the bug is set, the heading is set, the baro is set, so we're good there. Let's set our transponder to what we were asked to set, which is 4226. Seriously? How the hell am I supposed to... Alright, well, I'll use the 4-2-2-6. Haha! I don't know what I was supposed to do there, but, you know, whatever. Alright. There you go. Okay, and why nearest is there, I don't know. Alright, so flight plan. Alright, so our FMS is telling us to fly the Narrows 1, and then we're going to expect OLM.
526 is 10 miles to the southeast, inbound for landing.
So that's perfect.
Currently at 3,000.
I'm going to scroll in just a little bit because that's kind of ridiculous, but there's OLM. While I have a second, I'm going to go ahead and set nav 1 to 113.4, which is the OLM
Aircraft
VOR.
calling Acaba Tower, say call sign.
And then nav 2 is going to be the next VOR in line, which is Astoria, which is 114.
November 46526 Yakima Tower, make straight in runway 27.
Cool, there we go.
Off their current.
And then traffic standby. Synthetic vision is off, that's fine. Let's see here. HSI format, bearing 1 pointer, there you go. VOR 1, bearing 2 pointer, VOR 2. So now we've got 2 pointers and we're set there. Alright, let's make sure we got everything else that we need for our checklist. Flaps set for takeoff. I'll go ahead and punch flaps down 1. Good. Flight controls free and correct. We already checked that. Inertial separator is on. Yep, we'll go ahead and flip the landing light on. Click, click, those are on. Turn the strobe on. Click, that's on. Ready for after takeoff. Checklist complete. Wow, that was not a big checklist. It's pretty cool. Okay, and here we go. This is home, direct to, inhibits. That's nice to see. I like that. Com, nav, home, direct to, transponder. Good. Okay, I think we're ready to go. Let's go ahead and pop the parking brake. Wonder where there's a visual representation of my trim. I think I'd like to know that. Boy, this thing wants to go, doesn't it? Look at this. I'm gonna put that parking brake back on. Sheesh. So where's my trim? Yeah, there's not a visual representation of it, is there? Oh yeah, no there is. I'm pulling it, but it's not doing anything. Like, I don't see anything changing. I'm not actually... Oh, there it goes. Okay. Alright, trim's where I expect it to be. Alright. Okay, so we're squawking. We've got our departure instructions set. We've got altitude, baro, initial heading is set. Our VY for climb out. Let me see. Do we have bugs? Do we have bugs? Bugs. DU and CCD. That didn't do anything. Bugs. Oh, it says 130. We'll try climbing out at 130 to see if we have any of that. Tablet limitations, no. Operating, no. Tablet must be upright, no. 180. Well, we got what we got, so.
Yakima Tower, Cessna 46526. Am I clear for runway 27 straight in?
I'm going to hit the takeoff.
November
Autopilot.
46526, your instructions was to make straight in runway 27. Runway 27 cleared to land.
Runway 27 clear to land, Cessna 46526.
And I'm squawking 4226. Seattle departure, Pilatus November 6378 mics. Number 1, runway 17, ready for takeoff, awaiting IFR release Tacoma.
November 5, or correction. November 6378 mic, released for departure, clearance void if not off in 5 minutes. If not off in 5 minutes, advise Seattle departure of attachments within 10 minutes. Change to advisory frequency approved.
Release for departure, clearance void if not off in 5 minutes, change to advisory, 6378 mic. Alright, so we're going to go COM 1, we're going to switch to 118.5, and then I'm going to preset this to 120.4, which is the departure frequency, so we're going to call them when we're established and ready to go. For now, I'm going to let Tacoma know we're on our way out of here. Tacoma traffic, Pilatus number 6378 mic, taking off runway 17, departure to the south, Tacoma. Let's go. That all looks right. The hell if I know. Man, this plane just wants to go. Well, that's fine. Let's make it go. There's some good noise canceling on this thing. I can kind of hear it, but I can't. But that's all right, right? You know what a turboprop sounds like. There it goes. We're rolling now. All right, and we're up. Gear up. And flaps up. Climb for about 130, about 10 degrees. Go ahead and kick in a little bit of trim here. Try to get that established. There we go. That feels better. And we're up and running. We're climbing a little bit shallow. Trying to keep that 172 until we hit 1,500 feet. Then it's turn 250 degrees. Okay, we got a little bit high ITT. We'll bring that power back as we were expected to do anyway. Whoopsie. And then there's 2,000, so we're going to go ahead and bring it down. We're going to hold our altitude. I'm going to go ahead and hit AP. That ITT is still pretty hot, so we'll bring that back. Let's continue to 50 degrees, and we'll stay 2,000 feet as we've been instructed to do. And a little bit of a blip. Whoa! Wow. Easy there, killer. Alright, there's 250. I'm going to hold right there. I'm going to sync my heading bug. Boop. I'm going to hit AP heading and altitude hold and AP activate. Okay, AP is on, holding 2,000 and holding our heading at 250. And we'll go ahead and give
Amarillo Airport via the Lahunta obstacle departure procedure, Toby, or correction, the Lahunta obstacle departure procedure to the Toby VOR that has filed. Climb and maintain.
turn our landing and
17,000,
taxi
departure
lights
frequency
off.
118.57, squawk 2044, hold for release.
After takeoff, landing gear up, yaw damper on. Let's turn that yaw damper on. Where's my yaw damper? It's on.
Cleared via the obstacle departure, then to Toby VOR. Then
And inertial separator off.
17,000. Frequency
I'm just waiting to get my turn here.
118.57.
Flaps up, they are. Landing and taxi lights off.
2744.
Ready for before landing. Okay, checklist is all good.
November 516 Papa Charlie, read back correct, hold for release, advise ready.
We'll hold for release and we'll advise when ready.
Seattle departure, Pilatus 6378, Mike, 2,000 feet.
November 6378 Mike, Seattle departure right up.
I'm going to use the... I got to use this on my... ident, 6378, Mike.
November 6378 Mike, radar contact 16 miles north of the Olympia VOR, clear direct Olympia, climb and maintain 8,000.
Roger, radar contact, clear direct Olympia, climb and maintain 8,000, and position check, 6378, Mike. 8,000, and we're going to go down here. I'm going to press direct to... Did that do it? Olympia... Well, I don't know, but I'm going to take manual control here.
Autopilot.
And we're going to go ahead and push the throttle back up. We're going to climb 8,000, and we're going to go direct Olympia. Direct to. Activate. There, that's working. Alright, let's go ahead and re-engage. We'll do nav mode. And I like the vertical speed we've got right now. That's not bad, so I'll go ahead and activate that. Vertical speed, AP, nav mode is engaged. Yaw dampers are on. That's good. Climbing to 8,000. What is this message? Thank you, I don't care. Okay, quantity 2059, fuel flow 640 an hour. Okay, we got endurance of 3 hours and 11 minutes. That's not bad. Okay, we're rolling. It's a nice plane. It's really cool. I like this plane a lot. I'm going to tick that vertical speed down just a touch. Bring it down to 2,500 there. ITT, NG is all good. Oil pressure, oil temperature is good. Torque's trending toward the red line, but we haven't got it pegged all the way. We're MCP, not takeoff power. So.
November 78 Mike, contact Seattle Center 126.6.
Over to Seattle Center 126.6, 6378 Mike. Seattle Center, good day. Pilatus number 6378 Mike, 7,000 feet, climbing 8,000.
November 6378 Mike, Seattle Center, climb and maintain 12,000, Olympia, altimeter 3024.
Climb and maintain 12,000, thanks for 3024, 6378 Mike. Okay, set that barrow there, set that barrow there, boop, boop, just like that. And we got the 1-2000 set in. We caught it before we switched to altitude hold mode, so the vertical speed will just keep us going. Climb speed's good, 180. Take a look at PSI, ITT, NG are all good. Oil pressures and temperatures are good. Just making our way, man. Just making our way. Alright, so direct OLM, all good there. And we're climbing up to our final cruising altitude of 1-2000. On our way, we've got the VR1 pointers helping us out toward Olympia, and that tracks kinda with this FMS. That's sadly kind of common. And then VOR2 hasn't popped in yet. That's the Astoria VOR, and that will pop in when we're probably about halfway to the target. So the Astoria VOR is a VL or L. It's very low or low, so it doesn't have a huge amount of range, so you don't see it all the time. But we'll see it. We'll get to it. Everything's cool. And we're not getting any engine sound. I mean, I'm sorry about that, but kind of not sorry at the same time because, you know, it's just an endless buzz and whine, and, you know, we can all live without that. So I'll figure out what's going on with that a little bit later. But for now, you know, you can hear the switches, you can hear ATC, and you can hear me for whatever that's worth. And it's nice to be flying with you, so. All right, there we are, 12,000. Beautiful vista out in front of us. We'll take a look out the left there. We can see the Cascades. We can see Mount Rainier. That's absolutely gorgeous, this blanket of cloud. That is pretty much what we have here today. Even though it's technically VFR conditions, it's not the prettiest. I think it's going to burn off a little bit later today, but out the Cascades is a pretty good view. And then out to the right, the Olympics are actually behind. Yes, I know. Hi, how are you? The Olympics are actually off her shoulder there, and then out toward the Pacific Ocean. I think, excuse me there. You can see an inlet right there. Yeah, the Pacific Ocean is actually something we're going to keep on our right-hand side all the way down the coast to CEC. So, all right. So now that we're past Olympia, we're picking up the Victor 187 Airway on the way to Astoria. And so FMS is responding correctly. We're in nav mode. That's doing what it should be doing. And our speed, we want to cap it. It looks like 230 is what the FMS says we should cap our speed at, which is fine. I don't mind that. I think at MCP it's probably going to do that just fine by itself. So taking a look at torque is where we want it to be. I see that it's between the yellow and the red markers. So I tell you what I'm going to leave it as is. ITT is good at 734. NG is fine. Oil and PSI are where they should be. Let me see what happens if I just drop a little bit of speed. I'll bring the torque back down just to the yellow mark. I just don't like running anything. I don't like running things too much into the red. So, all right. So TAS is 257. Is that what we expected? I'm not sure about that. Ground speed 241, that's good news. So we're expecting to land, let's see, ETE 127 and 127 from now. What's our clock time? Yeah, okay. So we should land probably around 12:20.
November 516 Papa Charlie, release for departure. Clearance void if not off in 5 minutes. If not off in 5 minutes, advise Denver Center of Intentions within 7 minutes of intentions. Frequency change approved.
All right. We'll turn on half bank mode for the passengers' enjoyment. That's very nice thing to do. Let me go ahead and sync my heading bug. Always important to do that as well. You can see the IAS speed is set via the FMS. It's not set to manual, so it's controlling what the target speed is that we want to hit. I'm keeping us a little lower than that speed just to keep the torque below the yellow line. What else? We're on with center. We're probably going to stay with center most of the way. I'll check the plate real quick for Jack McNamara Field. Yeah, they say Seattle Center on 12485, so I expect we'll probably tune a couple of center frequencies on our way, but we'll stay with Seattle Center most of the way. And then Jack McNamara Field at Crescent City is an untowered airport, so we're going to be using a Unicom frequency, but I'm not going to pre-tune that right now. We've got guard on 121.5. because we are below 18,000 feet, the altimeter settings are not going to be standard, so we're going to want to kind of keep a watch on the altimeter settings as we go, and if we don't hear them from center, we'll go ahead and dial up airports along the way and just kind of keep fresh on the altimeter settings, because they're likely to change. Oh, what else can I tell you about myself? Let's zoom out a little bit. All right, so Astoria, I'm going to use the range rings here for really quick. So that's looks like about 50 miles away, and we're going at a ground speed of 240, so it's close to 250, so we'll be there in 1/5 of an hour, 1/5 of an hour, 60, 12 minutes. We'll be there in 12 minutes. Do you think that checks? I bet it does. All right, what else do we need to know? Let's see. Destination KSEC, yep, and then fuel remaining 172. Why don't we do some fuel calcs? I think that's really important to do. So we know it's going to take us about an hour and a half to get there. Right now we've got, let's call it 1900, and we're burning 548 pounds an hour, so 550 times 30 is 1650 in 3 hours. Yeah, that makes sense. About 3 hours and 37 minutes of endurance. We're going to be going about 1 hour, 1.5 hours. Let's round that to 2. That gives us an hour and a half's worth of a reserve. So at this fuel flow rate, I feel really comfortable continuing. Oh, cool. There's an oxygen switch. Cabin pressure, system mode, manual control, ACS, bleed air, inhibit, no, max. Okay, neat. We don't need ice protection. We're good. We're not crashing through any clouds or anything. As you can see, as we're going forward here, it's actually getting a little bit better as we approach the coast, which is not normal. We don't normally see that. Now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making a left-hand turn, so we're probably going to be skating right along the edge of these clouds as we go. But off the right, it actually looks pretty clear. So we'll look down. We'll get a chance to see some of the coastline of Washington, then Oregon, then California as we follow the 101 down southbound. Oh, it's pretty trimmed down, huh? What do you say? I like it. Cool plane. We still haven't picked up VOR 2 for Astoria. Right now, we're still about 50 miles, about 45 miles out from Astoria. I would guess we would see it probably at no later than the 25-mile mark, which is probably somewhere around between Hevel and Seatov. So we're 8 miles to Seatov. About an hour 23 in the seat to get us to Crescent City. And we know fuel is good. We know our engine instruments are good. We know our cruising altitude, speed is good. We're at 0.4 Mach. Ground speed is holding really well. We got about a 16-knot headwind on us, and we got no icing concerns, so everything is looking really good. I think we're nice and trimmed out and ready to rock and roll. The next thing we have to figure out is what our approach is going to be into Jack McNamara Field at Crescent City. So why don't we take a look at that? I think that's important that we get that all squared away. I want to go and find Crescent City. So I'm going to scroll down, and we're going to zoom in, and we're going to click on Crescent City, and we're going to do more info. And there's KSEC right there. Now I'm going to click down here. These are our approaches. We're going to do the ILS-12 with transitions at YPOG. And then I want to get, if they'll let me, I want to get the actual plates. I wonder if those are available or they got rid of them. Approaches 12. FAA. Ah, there you go. There you go. The letter too, my friend. I'll press this button and we'll see if we get it. All right, look at that. That's cool. Can't see it so good. Maybe I can make this bigger. Of course I can't. All right, well then we'll just zoom in a little bit. Okay. So this is the ILS Localizer Runway 12 in a Jack McNamara. We may not need this. I mean, we can call for a visual if things are like really super neato burrito, but let's always have an instrument approach ready to rock and roll. So YPOG is going to be one of our waypoints. We're coming in on YPOG. We're expected that once we cross YPOG, we can come down to 4,500. Now, what do we think our crossing altitude is going to be? Well, I know that the Victor 27 airway around YPOG is 6,400 feet. So we're probably going to expect to cross 6,000. They can clear you a little bit lower than that. So we'll cross YPOG 6,000. And then as soon as we cross YPOG, we can descend 4,500. It says no PT, so there's no procedure turn required, but we do have to fly this arc. Fun, it's an arc. So we're going to keep 11 miles DME distance from the Crescent City VOR. And as soon as we cross Gutki, right, and start our way in on the arc, we can start descending down to 2,800. Once we cross Tapui, we can now descend to 1,600, and then we're going to set up. For our final approach course of. Come on, Charles. That's 299 outbound. So what's the inbound course? That's probably going to be it's. Minus 180. I'm sorry. 119.
Departure citation 516 Papa Charlie.
So just a little bit off the 120.
9,700 for
119 is our inbound approach course. And once we're established on that, I'll take a look here.
November 516.
We'll stay
Papa Charlie,
1600.
Denver Center, squawk 2044.
Until SLAM, which is our... It says initial approach fix, but that's not quite correct. It's actually, for us, it's the localizer intercept of 1600. Then we will fly on green needles all the way down to our minimums, which will be 310 MSL or 250 AGL. And either we see the airport and we land, or we go missed, which we climb to 700 feet. Then a climbing right turn to 3,000 feet on the CEC Vortac R166 to the Chide waypoint, which is 11 miles DME from the CEC, and we hold there on a racetrack, 11 miles DME
November
from the
516
CEC,
Papa Charlie,
and we
radar
continue climbing and hold at 3,000,
miles north
and then
of
we'll
the
pick up
Toby VOR.
instructions beyond that. I think it's completely fine. I think doing the ILS is a great backup if we need it, but if we have VFR conditions, then we'll ask for the visual runway 12, and we'll just visual it all the way down. So no problems there. No problems there. Next thing to think about is what speed do we actually want to run the approach at? So what we don't have here is I don't have maximum flap operation speeds, or do I? Ah, here it is. VFE, flap extensions up to 15, and then VFE above 15. So we can go down to 15 degrees at 165 knots, and we can go VFE above 15 degrees at 130 knots. And the gear extension, 240 knots, and then operation to 180 knots. So that's telling me that I probably want to run this approach at about 165 knots.
November 63.
Actually, no, I don't.
Mike, contact Seattle Center 121.4.
Over to Seattle Center 121.4, 6378 Mike. That was easy. Seattle Center Pilatus, November 6378 Mike, level 2,000 feet.
November 6378 Mike, Seattle Center, the Astoria altimeter 3015.
Thanks for 3015, 6378 Mike. Okay, so we're going to reset our barrows. I do not know why that changed my camera. I don't like that. I'm just going to quickly... You know what? I'm not going to mess with it right now. I'm just not going to mess with it right now. I hope it doesn't do it again, and if it does, I'll have some words. I think it was because I was holding a button on my little input, my little IFR1 widget. Okay, 3015 is set for Astoria. We're on nav mode. The Astoria VOR still, actually it looks like it has shown up because we have a bearing pointer, but we don't have, let's push this into VOR 1 and see what happens. 114. We don't have a DME, but it is showing AST. It's identifying itself. There it is, VOR 1 14.2 nautical miles. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and plug the next VOR in, which will be, it's not CEC, because we've got actually ONP coming up at Newport 117.1. So I'll go ahead and plug 117.1 into nav2, and we'll see if it pulls it in. Yeah, it does. Look at that, DME ONP, so we actually can pick it up from here. We are probably more than 100 miles from ONP. Yeah, we're about 105 miles from ONP, but we can actually pick it up. That's pretty cool. So once we're established, I'll go ahead and swap the frequencies, and I'll put ONP on, and we'll just fly to that. So I'll go ahead and go nav1 AST 117.10. So we'll set that to 117.10 in the standby, and we'll set nav2 to 114 in the standby, and we'll swap AST and ONP so we can get a DME reading off ONP as we're headed that way. And it's going to be a left turn. Probably take us, looks like heading 170 magnetic. So we're going to be flying south, and on our kind of main drag here, you can see the weather's really, really cleared up as we're out here. Astoria coming up. This is, I believe, the Columbia River. If I am not mistaken, exiting out to the Pacific Ocean. I very well could be tremendously wrong about that. Let's find out. I am not. This is it, and this is over here. Excuse me. That's the bar. If you go to Astoria, if you head there one day, be sure to go by the Coast Guard
73156
and the Naval
Daniel
Museum.
Ground
They
Runway
will show
17
you
left taxi
exactly how many shipwrecks are on the bar out there. It is a ton. It is a lot. Big ups to all of the naval and the aviators and all of the nautors that have come before. We stand on the shoulders of giants. We truly do. All right, 5 miles to the Astoria VOR, then left turn on the Victor 27 airway to continue our adventures. To Crescent City. That's just glorious. Yeah, you can see the Columbia twisting around and then headed that way toward that'll actually head toward the city of Portland. And Vancouver on the Washington side. It disappears in the clouds. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. That's cool. All right, there we go. Oh, look at this. Ref speed, 85. Approach speed, 98. VT, 140. I wonder what VT is. I'm interested to know about that. V speeds, VT. Threshold speed. Really? 140? I doubt that. Touchdown speed? No. Max threshold speed? Maybe? I don't know. I'm really interested in that. Oh, pilot defined, maybe. It's a pilot defined speed. Maybe that's preset to what we should fly our approach at, 140. Very nice. So, looking at the weather here, there's a little bit of a deck. It's not bad. You know, I don't see huge thunderheads. I don't expect much precipitation. I wonder, there might be a radar wix on this. Let's take a look. Ooh. There you go. Okay, cool. Look at that. Nice. Okay, TCAS is on. Terrain. Turn terrain off. Interesting. Oh, and I can change the brightness.
Number 73156, Centennial Tower, right turn on course approved. Wind variable at 5, runway 17 left, clear for
Or
takeoff.
not. Or not. I don't know. There's VORs. That's useful. Airways. Oh, nope. Don't have those. Sorry. But we zoom out a little bit. We can see NextRad shows weather off the coast, precipitation out there in the deep, in the Pacific, but nothing that's here inland. And so that's good news. I'll go ahead and keep that on just for now and see if anything kind of pops up, but I don't expect it to. At this point, we're about $110 from landing. So, you know, we're not going to have huge changes in the weather pattern. There is a front coming a little bit later. There's going to be some low pressure that's building, but that's by tonight. So, you know, we're going to be on the ground by 12:30. Oh my. Is that really true?
Number 6, Papa Charlie, contact Albuquerque Center 124.32.
Is it really an hour 10? Oh dear.
Contact Albuquerque on 24.32, 6 Papa Charlie.
Yeah. Wow. It's sure is taking a while. I think I must have gotten myself mixed up in terms of how long this was going to take. So I may need to land a little bit. Got to be somewhere at 1. So let's see. Where can we divert to? Ooh, interesting. We could go to Newport. That's
Albuquerque Center,
KONP.
citation 516 Papa Charlie's level at 17,000.
Let's use the nearest
Number
feature.
516, Papa Charlie, Albuquerque Center, Dollar altimeter 3012.
Nearest airports.
012, 6 Papa Charlie.
So I'm just scrolling. Seaside, no. Camp Relay, Nehalem Bay. Now, this is, 13 miles away. Astoria. Wow, there's a lot of interesting airports, but not the ones we want. I think where we want to go to ONP. I think we're looking pretty good. I don't think we need 4 flights help anymore. We're 65 miles from Newport Municipal. We might be able to make it all the way to Coos Bay. Let's see if it shows us a... So it doesn't show us a cumulative distance. It would be interesting if it did. Oh, look. Okay, here we go. So it's telling us crossing times. So we're going to cross OTH at plus 37 minutes from now. So we could make it to OTH. YPOG at 57 minutes. Okay. 37 minutes. Cross OTH. I'm not mad about that. OTH is still Oregon, so we're not going to make it to California in time, but that's all right. Oh, this is just a really nice flight, though. Get a load of this.
Number 73156, Denver departure, radar contact, Centennial altimeter 3002, remain outside the Bravo.
Albuquerque Center, citation 516 Papa Charlie. Request to step away for 5 minutes.
Approved.
We don't have any fuel concerns. It's not that we can't make it all the way to Crescent City, but unfortunately for my schedule, I'm going to have to land somewhere in the next half an hour. So we have Now OTH is crossing 35 minutes. Why don't we try ONP? That's about 15 minutes away. We're 12,000 feet. That's not terribly bad. So we can sort of switch over to looking at VFR charts and do this VFR. So the first thing I'm going to do is get some situational awareness about what we're heading into. So if I go back and I go back, map settings, maps. Okay, there we go. There's OTH and there's ONP right there. So if we zoom in a little bit on KONP, you can see there's not a whole lot of mountains around there, so that's good news. We might be able to dial up and get their weather. I think that would be a smart thing to do. So let's go to more info and we'll go to frequencies. That's wonderful. There's actually, okay, there's the METAR right there. So 110 at 3, that's good. We can pretty much land right off the water. 10 statute miles, overcast at 110. Yep, that makes sense. So we're going to come down a little bit. 0504, so dew point and temperature are off by 1 degree, probably rising though, and altimeter 3020, so a little bit higher than what we're on right now. Okay, I feel good about that. We want to make sure that we have enough room. Let's do our runway checks. Runway 16 recommended. Dimensions, oh, thanks a lot. 1639 by 29 meters. Yeah, that's helpful. So 4,500 feet. Fine, we can land in that. That's not an issue. All right, we'll pick runway 16. And the next thing we want to do is we want to tell Pilotedge, we want to tell Seattle Center that I'm going to tell Seattle Center, hey David, that we're going to go VFR because we don't want to stay on this flight plan. We want to do what we want to do, and we don't need to because we can see everything. So we're going to go ahead and relieve them of their burden, and we're just going to rock and roll on the VFR. So Seattle Center, Pilatus number 6378. Mike, I'd like to cancel IFR.
Number 6378, Mike. Radar services terminated with the cancellation. Squawk and maintain VFR and free exchange approved. Have a great day.
Squawk and maintain VFR, frequency change approved, 6378 Mike. Alright. Transponder. And I'll go, oh, I'll press this button.
Albuquerque Center, 6 Papa Charlie back.
There you go, look at that.
Number 6 Papa Charlie, thanks.
Squawk and VFR. Alright, so what we're going to do now is I'll go ahead and dial, let's see, KONP. And we'll go direct to 133.9 is the AWAS. 339. And we'll dial in ONP weather.
Kilo Oscar November Papa automated weather observation 2000 Zulu. Wind 132 at 4.
We'll go direct to the
Visibility
VOR.
10. Sky condition. Few clouds at 9,700 FT ceiling, 13,500 foot overcast.
Okay.
Temperature 5 C's dew point. Tree C altimeter 301740.
3017. I'll go ahead and dial that 3017
Kilo Oscar
there.
November Papa automated weather observation 2000 Zulu. Wind 132 at.
Thank you. And let's see, Newport, KONP's VOR, excuse me, CTEF Unicom 122.8. And we'll just tune in there and start listening. Let's see, I want to go to a different destination. How do I tell it I want to go? I want to tell it I want a different destination. What happens if I click it? Nope, that didn't do nothing. Flight plan. See, if only I'd filed as an alternate, that would have been smart. Interesting. So we'll go ahead and delete that. And I tell you what, watch this. Boop. We'll hit cancel, and then I am going to go, I'm going to do it in 2 pieces. I'm going to set my heading bug like this. I'm going to tell my autopilot, change to heading mode. Now I'm going to mess with my nav, and I'm just going to change my destination to ONP. Route. Newport. Runway 16. Send route to avionics. Done. Oh my god, what is that mess? Ah, what is this? Well, that's nonsense. I'm not flying that ridiculous. Oh, I see. Runway app. Runway 16. ILS 16. I don't need that. KONP direct to activate. There we go. That took maybe a little bit longer than I'd hoped, but whatever. So we're 43 miles from KONP. We know that we need to come down to the elevation for KONP, which is 160. So TPA is going to be 1,000 feet above that. We'll call it 1,200. So we're going to have to come down from 12,000 to 1,200. We're going to have to lose about 11,000 feet. We know that we're about 3 for 1, so we're going to be 33 miles. We're going to start our descent here in about 8 miles. So I'll go ahead and set our AP for autopilot bug set for 1200, which is going to be pattern altitude, and we know heading 16, we're going to be landing runway 16, which is actually going to be pretty much right here, just a slight left turn. So this is going to be great. We'll do it straight in. It's no problem. No problem at all. Approach speed's 85. Our final approach speed will be 95. We'll do VREF plus 10. And we'll just run our checks as we go. So let's go ahead and do our before landing checks here. Bleep. Bleep. All right, inertial separator on. Click. Done. Landing gear down, 3 greens. We're not doing that yet. Taxi and landing lights on. I'll go ahead and turn those on. Pop. All right. Flaps for landing. Yep. AP yaw damper disconnect and ready for shutdown. All righty. We're all set there. So we'll start our descent here shortly. And 38 miles, as I said, we want to get down 11,000 feet, so we're going to come down at 3 to 1. That 3 to 1 descent ratio would be a 5-degree down angle. So we'll go ahead and set for a 5-degree down angle, whatever pitch that is. And then we'll keep our speed at about 210 knots. We'll aim for that, so we'll just modify the power as necessary once we establish our down angle. And we got 36 miles to go to KONP, so we're going to go ahead and start it at, we actually start it right now because we want to be a little bit out. So go ahead and switch to turn on altitude, pitch mode. I'm going to go ahead and push down like this. I don't like that. I'm going to turn the flight director off. It doesn't let me turn the flight director off. Thanks. That's helpful. All right, so we're at 1500 VS. I'll go ahead and set the VS mode somewhere. There we go. Now the little mustache comes down. I'm trying to let it trim out. Oh, that's because AP's not on? No, it absolutely is. It's just taking its sweet time, poking down to the right angle. All right, and I want a descent angle of 1500, so I'm switching that a little bit, and we're watching the altitude come down. Again, I want to modify power to be at about 210 knots as I come down. 31.2 miles to KONP. It's not time to call in yet, not by a long shot. But we're keeping our eyes out. It's good that we're descending. You can see that we're going to be flying into some crap here. If we were staying IFR, we would have had to deal with that. So We're doing good. Since we're going to be below the ice, any icing layers or any precipitation, we don't need to turn any icing on. We do have our inertial separator on as was required. I am not going to hit flaps until we are a little bit lower and a little bit ready to slow down. So again, we can do VFE at 165 knots. What we'll do to, we'll bring our speed down by dropping our landing gear first, and that'll bring our speed down, and then once it's below 165, we'll extend our flaps to 15 degrees, and we'll continue to fly the approach. Speed's pretty good, not worried about that. And as far as hitting our target of getting out of the nasty weather into some nicer weather, it's actually not terrible. We got, you know, again, 11,000 feet, 12,000 feet. We got a layer here, but a few clouds. The sun's coming out a little bit. So we're on our way to California. We didn't get as far as we wanted to today. Got some headwinds and was dealing with some of the intricacies of the Pilatus aircraft, but I'll tell you, I'm having a good time with this plane. I think it's a good one. I'm starting to get a little bit more comfortable in its operation, especially this FMS, which I really need to learn a little bit better. Clearly, I need to do some more work on that, but that's all right. 7 minutes to go, and we're coming down at 1,500 a minute, and so we'll be down 1,500, 3,000, 4,500, 6,000. We'll be down in 4 minutes. Gives us 3 minutes to go to our destination. And right now at this speed, we're going about 3 miles a minute. And so we'll be about 3 miles out. We'll be set up for a 3-mile final. And that's not really that bad. So at some point here, we're going to want to slow it on down. I think once I get about 10 miles out, I'll go gear down, we'll go flaps at 165, and then we'll dial it in. Let's see, do I have an OBS mode? Navigation source. I don't want to exactly F with that right now. I'm actually on heading mode right now. It's kind of funny. So let me play with this a little bit. Nav preview, no. Elapsed timer, no. HSI, no. VOR, FMS, that's kind of cool. Frequency swap, barrow, course marker. Can't mess with the course, so there's no OBS. That's kind of fun. I like that too. Alright, continue to come on down now. And we're just shy of 20 miles to ONP at this point. It's going to be a 1-6, runway 1-6. So we're coming in off the water, or not off the water exactly. It's actually going to be fairly straight along the coast. Is 1-6. The actual magnetic heading is 162. 162 will be the magnetic heading. So it's about 10 degrees offset from our heading right now. We do have a 3 knot wind coming on right to left. It's going to push us inland a little bit. So what we'll want to do is we'll want to crab toward the ocean just a little bit, which ironically is exactly what we're doing right now. So maybe if we just stay this course, we'll actually be lined up perfectly for landing. So it's 15 miles, and now at 4,000 feet, 210 knots, bang on, coming on down. I don't know what is going on with this stupid ass camera, but it's starting to really make me mad. Yep, every time I click it now, it's doing something stupid. So I apologize, and I All right, you can see right here we're heading for this wonderful mountain. Let's see, situational awareness terrain. Let's see what that does. What's it showing us? Is it saying, hey, watch out, there's terrain here? No, not really. I'm sort of expecting to see scary stuff lit up here. Some red. Nope, not at all. All right. Well, apologies that you're going to see this weird camera angle, but I've got to call in. And it's Newport. Newport traffic, Pilatus November 6378 Mike's 10 to the north, setting up for straight in runway 16 full stop Newport. I will fix this later. I don't even know. All right, there's 1400, and as we come in at our final altitude 1200, we're going gear down. 10-mile final. Start poking our head out. There it is. There's the runway right there. All right. And we got 3 greens. No, we don't. Like, not at all. Excuse me? Speed. I see. Boy, I didn't like that. Okay, because gear operation speed was 180. Whoopsie. Sorry, everybody. Sorry about that. Cool safety measure. I appreciate that. All right, 160. We'll go ahead and go flaps 10. Or excuse me, 15 degrees. Landing gear 3 greens. Flaps. They're not set for landing yet, but they will be. All right, we're going to go ahead and go autopilot disengage.
Autopilot.
There's the outer marker for the ILS. Newport traffic, Pilatus November 6378 Mike is on a 5-mile final, runway 16 full stop, Newport. This thing is really a pleasure to fly. Just, it behaves so nicely. I mean, it's got a little, got some quirks here and there, and the instrumentation is confusing at times, but like flying it is just a pleasure. All right, there we go. We got red over white. Rabbit in sight, airport in sight. 3.5 mile final. Going to bring the power back and get ready for full flaps. 130 knots is going to be the maximum extension speed, so go ahead and continue to bring that power back. Okay, we're below. And full flaps. And as they come out, we're going to push a little power. Not that much power. Very cool, like the speed tape warnings and all that. Now 95 knots is what we're looking for. We're looking for our VREF plus 10, so we're going to bring our power back a little bit. Pumping some trim in, try to help us out. Got a 4 knot headwind, it's not bad. We're a little low. Pushing a little thrust. There we go, we can see the geometry is looking a little bit better. We got red over white. Bring the thrust back a little bit. Point that nose. Establish an aim point. I feel like we're in beta range or reverse thrust range or something really weird. I actually don't like it. That doesn't sound right. Yeah, it feels like the reverse thrust is going. It totally is. Look at us slow down. Alright. Put the flaps all the way up. Okay. Alright, well, I mean, that wasn't terrible. This plane loves to move, I'll tell you, though. Newport traffic. Pilatus number 6378. Mike's clear, runway 16, taxi parking, Newport. I swear this is the place I went last time. Or maybe that was Tillamook. The trees just look familiar to me. Newport FBO is just up here on the up here ahead of us, and then a slight left turn. So we'll just go ahead and head up this way. Forgot to turn my landing lights on. That wasn't good. Oh well. Man, you really got to ride the brakes with this thing. Okay, and we're going to loop around. Watch this. Whoa! Ring, ding, 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 ding. Boom, parking brake. Oh ho ho. Oh, all right. Close that inertial separator, turn those probes off. Let's see. Engine off. Outstanding. Oh, that was very, very cool. All right, and we'll leave that off. Da-da-da-da. EPS standby battery is off. Gens off. Standby bus off. Avionics off. Batteries off. Nice. Oh God! Oh, jeez. Turboprop exhaust. Ugh. Still, that wasn't too bad. A little unexpected what we had to do there, just to save a little bit of time, land a little sooner than we thought. But we were able to do an IFR departure. We were able to get underway IFR. We were able to use our FMS as we expected. We were able to navigate using the FMS as well as using VOR standbys. We did a diversion. We moved to VFR, and then we were able to do an approach and landing runway 16 here at Newport. So the Pilatus did a great job. I really enjoyed it. It's very cool airplane, and we'll pick it up next time for another flight. We'll try to get a little bit further down the coast. To all of you here, thanks for joining. I hope you have a wonderful new year, and I'll see you in 2025. Bye, everybody.